Hello and welcome back to the Project Hercules Diaries, where we have a rather colourful addition to the bike. Courtesy of my mate Andy for dropping them off the other day. It's a pity because I wasn't in at the time. And also courtesy of the idea from String at Raw Steel Choppers. And what these amazing things do, you may recognise them, they're tennis balls, is that when you're working on the foot peg or you're working on the next thing around the foot peg, which is how to create a rear brake mount and how to mount the master cylinder, and then you stand up, it's quite easy to twat your head on that tennis ball, and it really hurts. Trust me, I've done it a few times. So by putting the tennis ball on there, if you do stand up and you catch your head on it, it doesn't hurt your head, and everyone is very happy. So I'm really pleased with that. So talking of foot peg mounts, I haven't finished the the foot peg mount is finished, but I haven't finished tweaking it so that we can activate the rear brake using a left foot pedal. That still needs a bit of work, but we've made this sort of distance piece and we've just got to work out how to attach the pedals to the distance piece. Lots of little itty bitty things have been done since the last update. It's been a couple of weeks because I was at a wedding last week. A mate of mine from work, Tim, got married, and absolutely humdinger of a wedding it was too. But we were a little bit fragile the next day to get anything done in the garage. So that's one of the next jobs, is to work out how to attach this master cylinder, where that's going to fit nicely and neatly on there, and how that lever there is going to actuate it when you press on the brake lever, which will be at this end of the whole contraption. Now that's over on the bench here, and as you can see, one of these has got a 4BA screw in it. Now they've been laser cut, but the holes are just the right size to fit a 4BA screw in. It's a lovely fit. It's quite tough steel, so you have to be careful tapping it. But if we tap all of these 4BA and then we come in from the back side of the cotton reel, we should have nice adjustable foot pegs. So that's another job on the list of things to do, and mounting that caliper. But it's little things, slow progress all the time. We went to a auto jumble, or rather Matt and Bob went to an auto jumble, and they picked up this for me. Whoa, check that out. It's a rev counter. It's a cable driven rev counter, sort of traditional rev counter. It does work if I can turn it fast enough. There you go. So it does work. I think it's a 2-to-1 geared up rev counter, and it only goes up to 3000 RPM. The most I'll probably be looking at doing is 2500, maybe 2750. So it's a nice range of a rev counter. There isn't much point in having one that goes up to 7 or 9000 RPM because it's hardly going to be moving most of the time, and it's probably off a boat or an aircraft because there's a built-in hours meter. So I'll be able to see how many hours the whole thing's been running. So what we're planning to do, I've had a chat with my electronics mates, Nick and Matt, and the kind of plan is to fit a servo or stepper motor to drive this and little Arduino, put it all into a case, and then pick up the feed from the coil. So by counting the sparks, we can drive the servo at the right speed and have a nice rev counter. So that's another job that's sort of on the list, but at least we know where we're going with that. And then the other outstanding big job is the exhaust pipe. So I bought some benzene mild steel to mock things up, but I've also bought some straight pieces in straight stainless steel, and what I plan to do is to practice welding, making a few collars to slide pieces together, and then just practice welding them up. Now I do have the means to do that because the trusty MIG welder here will weld stainless. I bought some stainless welding wire, but I need to do a lot of practice, certainly before I go anywhere near contemplating making an actual exhaust pipe. This is a stainless 90-degree bend, and what we've been doing on the bike behind me, that's mild steel. We turned down the aluminium exhaust flanges, and it's just a nice push fit, so we could see how the pipe was going to fit, and then that one would go in there, and they're looking quite smart. So it's going to be sort of a 2-into-1, if you can imagine, going towards the back of the bike and sweeping out. But of course that's no good because you can't, as far as I know, weld aluminium to mild steel. Mild steel would rust. So the plan is to remake these exhaust flanges in stainless steel, and then make it a sort of a nice push fit, and then weld the stainless around the outside, around the inside, and linish it back. And then on the welds themselves, having bought a few bends, the plan is rather than do pie cuts and where you can see all the welds to get around the corner, I'll do straight welds, butt welds, and then sand them back, linish them back, grind them back so it's one smooth pipe. And then see if I can get them polished up. That's the plan. I mean, if it looks rubbish, it doesn't cost that much for the stainless. It's a bit of my time, and if it really doesn't work, I'll take it to a professional. But we'll have a go. We'll have a go ourselves and see how it looks. So over in the shed, I'm just going to teleport there now. Here we are in the shed. Still makes me queasy, that teleport, you know. So we've got this quite thick stainless steel plate. It's quite heavy. And it's very, very hard. So we've cut 2 squares out, and we're going to use those to make the exhaust flanges, and they're set up on the lathe just over there. It's a South Bend lathe. They're in the 4-jaw chuck, and what we've done is we've already milled them so they're nice and square, nice square edges. There's 2 plates there, one on top of the other. So they've been milled, they've been drilled and bolted, and then this is the aluminium flange. And what Bob's doing here, he's got the boring bar in, he's going to bore those out so it's a nice push fit for the pipes. But I'm not going to get the welder anywhere near these when we're finished until I am very proficient at doing it. So that's where we are at. One last thing, back in the garage. Not sure you can hear that, but there's an ominous ticking noise. It took a while to track it down because it's sort of coming from the gull wing. And what on earth would that be? So as it turns out, in here is a lock, and the lock is an old lock with an alarm on it, and I think the battery's going a bit flat. So we've got this ticking noise, but there, stopped again. Being intermittent, on and off, really have been going for a bit then. Nearly ended up taking all the going to bits, and that would have been a bit of a divergence of time as well, wouldn't it? A bit of a waste. So there we go. A few things have been happening. Nothing monumental or major. There's lots of little things getting done on the bike. Only the thing that might not have seen is I bought a brake pipe and working out the best way to route that and whether that's the correct length or whether we can shorten it. So that's what we've been up to. As usual, thank you for watching. More updates will follow. Not sure when, because it's the village carnival this weekend. And that's a mighty lot of fun. Right, as usual, thanks for watching. More updates will follow.